Hi everyone, my name's Cherie and I'm one of the keepers here at Irukandji. I'm very lucky because I get to spend every day over at our tropical lagoon. So over at our tropical lagoon, we have a variety of different species over here. And my main species that I get to work with are the tawny nurse sharks, the giant shovel nose rays, and the cutest shark in the world, the zebra sharks. Now, some people might know of zebra sharks as being the leopard shark. Now, when a zebra shark first hatches out of their egg, they actually don't look like they're adults. They'll actually have black and white stripes on their body. So that's why we give them the name zebra shark. Now, as these guys start to grow, start to get bigger, those bands are going to fade away and beautiful spots are going to come through. So in some areas, the zebra sharks are actually known as a leopard shark. So both names are kind of acceptable for these sharks depending on where you come from. Now, the zebra sharks are one of the first species of shark that I fell in love with. There's so many awesome features of the zebra sharks. Now, unfortunately for our beautiful zebra sharks out in the wild, they're in a lot of trouble. There are some areas where our zebra sharks once used to be very, very common, and now they're not being sighted at all. Now, sadly for our zebra sharks, they do face the same problem that a lot of our shark species are facing. One of those is the habitat destruction, of course, but another big problem for our sharks, and I cannot believe it still goes on in the world today, is the overfishing of them. So our zebra sharks, they have this beautiful long tail. In fact, their tails are the second longest tail to body ratio of all shark species. They have this beautiful long tail, these amazing fins, and unfortunately, they're a target for shark fin soup. Also, their meat is served in seafood products as well. So guys, if you're like me and you think zebra sharks are an amazing shark, we can definitely change our seafood products. Always go for a bony type of fish instead of our boneless type of fish. That's going to help save not just our zebra sharks, but a lot of other shark species. So an amazing team of people came up with a project to help restock the oceans with zebra sharks. So they've gotten help from aquariums all over the world. And what will happen is we will get fertile zebra shark eggs at our aquariums. We'll ship them off to Indonesia where there's some hatcheries set up that were purposely built for the project. There are some sea pens where once the babies hatch, they're placed so that they can forage and grow to be strong sharks. Once they reach a certain length, they're placed out onto the reef to become wild sharks. Now, this project is taking place around Raja Ampat. It's really amazing. For any more information, jump onto their Instagram page because last week they actually released their 20th zebra shark pup out into the ocean, which is really cool. Alrighty guys, so this here is one of our zebra shark eggs. Now it's really interesting when our girls lay their eggs here, we can actually tell which female laid their egg based on the size and the shape of the egg, which is pretty cool. So this egg here came from our biggest, beautifulest girl. Her name is Mirage. Now I'm going to check this egg by using this underwater torch. Now with our zebra shark eggs, it can take about 30 days before we might start to see a little wiggly baby inside that egg there. Now, as yet, we have not had any wigglies inside the eggs, but I'm always very hopeful every time we get an egg. So I'll see if our torch is going to be strong enough to shine on through. And if there is something in there, we'll see a tiny little wiggly off the side of the yolk there. But unfortunately, it doesn't look like this is going to be a successful egg. Now, if this was a successful egg, what we would do is we would ship this egg off to Indonesia. If you have a look over in this lagoon, here is Greg. Now, Greg, he is an amazing character. He's got one of the best personalities. Don't you, mister? You sure do. Greg he's a pretty smart boy, but sometimes he does some things that make you go, well, we can see why it was best for you to stay in captivity. Poor Greg was found on the reef with some pretty horrific injuries. He's blind in his left eye, He's missing part of his left pectoral fin. He has some scarring to his gill slits. So he went into an aquarium up north. He was offered to some other aquariums, but unfortunately they didn't want to take Greg on because of the issues that he does have. Ryan and Leah saw Greg and they thought, yeah, we're up for the challenge. So we're very hopeful that Greg will also become part of that StAR project to help restock the wild with zebra sharks. He's a very, very beautiful boy. Now, I guess one of the reasons that this breeding program for the zebra sharks to get them back out in the wild is so important is because the zebra sharks are the only member of their family. So they're the only member of the family Stegostoma today, which is a big word to say. So they are the only member of that family. So if we lose the zebra sharks, that's a whole family of sharks lost from the oceans, which is really terrible. Now, when we look at, if you check out Mirage, for example, she's a big, buffy, beautiful female. Now, to some people, they might resemble one of the largest animals out there in the ocean, the whale sharks. So when we have a look at their body, we see those beautiful ridges down along them, those spots, that awesome tail as well. When you start looking back through the orders of sharks, the closest relatives to our zebra sharks would be something like the whale sharks, bamboo sharks, even nurse sharks as well. Now, I love zebra sharks because the way they swim around, they're just such a graceful, beautiful shark. When you see them front on, they always look like they're smiling. They're just such an amazing shark. I cannot believe that 3 years ago I was terrified of sharks. All it took was for me to come and meet these awesome zebra sharks that we have here, and I completely changed my mind about sharks. So our hope is that our guests will come here, they will meet our amazing zebra sharks, they'll want to help out with that StAR project, and that they'll want to protect the oceans just as much as we want to.